you may ask yourself how we came up with this new test or why we came up with this new test. When talking to our customers, we realized that there are many new problems arising with modern aptitude testing, which are, for example, very high numbers of applications in certain fields. There are some areas where there's a lot of applicants for a single job, and this can be hard to manage with on-site testing a lot of the time. Also, there are a lot of candidates who really aren't even available for on-site testing, maybe because they live far away or something similar. And there are target groups who are mainly focused on mobile devices and aren't even using desktop PCs as much anymore. As you can see on this graphic, in orange is the percentage of use of smartphone apps for everyday media use, in this case in the US, but we see very similar numbers in Austria and Germany as well. And as you can see, mobile devices are more and more prevalent, especially in the younger age groups from 18 to 24 or 25 to 34. So these are the main problems modern aptitude testing is facing right now. And if you think about a typical HR representative who maybe is offering a new position in a very prestigious company, and the position is very attractive, and he may have a lot of applicants, and he may want to pre-select suitable candidates. And then the HR representative, maybe he's not only responsible for one market, but for multiple markets in many different countries. And therefore, he may want to test international applicants, which is often not possible with on-site testing because they would have to travel really far. Plus, as we said before, many target groups, especially younger ones, are hard to reach, maybe on the computer, and are more used to using mobile devices such as the smartphones. So these are all factors that modern aptitude testing is facing, and that our HR representative wants to do, but can't really do with current solutions. So we tried to implement a very modern concept with the INT that offers a lot of new and exciting possibilities. The test was developed mobile first, as it's called. So that means it was developed for mobile devices, especially for mobile devices, and then later on adapted for use on desktop as well. That means, yes, it's optimized for mobile presentation, but if you want, you can use it on a desktop computer as well, of course. When developing something mobile first, you guarantee full functionality on touchscreens and optimization for the presentation of these mobile devices. And with such development, it's of course possible to maybe do the test at home on your tablet. Also, we focused on younger target groups being able to be reached, as we have seen in the graphic, and therefore we also implemented appropriate norm samples from 14 to 69 years. The main sector of application for INT is the HR context, of course. It can be used for staff and management assessment, also for job and career placement, and it's especially useful for academic testing as well. So if you want to test someone's options for studying, for example, the INT is a very good tool for that. It also comes in 4 languages from start. It's available in English, it's available in German, in French, and in Spanish. Why did we choose the tests that are in the INT? The INT focuses on general cognitive ability, and general cognitive ability is a very good predictor for career and academic success. These general cognitive abilities are generally referred to as intelligence in day-to-day life, and they can be used to predict various kinds of performance criteria. And therefore, they show very high correlations with things like grades, academic, and also career success. The INT measures three main performance indicators for these contexts. So in the end, we have on the overall view the cognitive ability, general cognitive ability, but we measure that with three subtests with the specific performance indicators: logical reasoning, verbal ability, and numerical ability. And these three indicators are then weighted and go into the cognitive ability overall. The dimensions are used in the INT are based on the Kettle-Horn-Carroll model of general cognitive abilities, which you can see here. This is just an excerpt. It's a really expansive model of general intelligence, and the areas covered in INT are fluid reasoning with induction. That's the logical reasoning part of the INT. Then general comprehension, crystallized intelligence, as it's also called, is covered with verbal ability and is here called lexical knowledge. And furthermore, quantitative knowledge is covered with the numerical ability in INT. The subtests are based on well-established test concepts and also fulfill psychometric criteria. So the three subtests are first, as I said, the logical reasoning subtest, which is a matrices test, but has got kind of a special feature not all matrices tests have, or which is very special to the INT. It has the feature that the incongruous field has to be selected. So rules have to be found in the matrix, and then the fields that does not apply to the rules has to be selected for the correct answer. This has been done to ensure that the matrices test works well on small mobile devices, because as you may know, in standard matrices tests, usually there are a lot of answer options, like up to 8 answer options, which would not fit the screen on a smartphone. And therefore, we added this new special feature to ensure the presentation and the appealing presentation on a smartphone. This subtest has a reliability with a Cronbach's alpha of 0.73. The next subtest, verbal ability, features analogies. So here different words have to be set into context, and then the correct solution has to be found. In this case, the analogy would be forest to trees behaves like meadow to grass in this example. This subtest has a reliability with a Cronbach's alpha of 0.77. And last but not least, numerical ability is our subtest where you have to insert arithmetic operators, which measures numerical flexibility. How flexible is your thinking in these numerical contexts? And this subtest has a reliability with a Cronbach's alpha of 0.81. Also, the overall cognitive ability has Cronbach's alpha of 0.91. So, as you can see, all of these tests have met reliability criteria. Furthermore, we also focused on the comparison between desktop and smartphone users. So what's always one thought would be that the difficulties are different between the smartphone version and the desktop version, maybe because a smartphone version is smaller, or maybe because it's easier to click or something like that. So we analyzed our data for that as well. And you see a lot of numbers here, but the main outcome was there is absolutely no statistical significant difference between the devices. So smartphone users did not differ were not different from desktop users in this sample. So the INT combines an attractive presentation with and mobile testing with scientific quality. As you are well aware, Schufried places a lot of focus on scientific quality, and we did so once again with the INT. We've got a time limit per item, which can be very useful because it doesn't lead to very, very long working times, as in many other cognitive ability tests. And therefore, the overall test duration is much more controllable with INT. The INT is available in open mode and therefore can be presented in web browsers. So if you want to invite a person to the test, you can just send them a link and they can do the test in the web browser. There are very short and animated instructions which help understanding what to do in the test and are up to date with modern animations. Also, the INT it's possible to present INT in portrait and landscape mode. So as you may know on the phone, usually if you tilt the phone to the side, it goes, the screen rotates, and this is possible with INT as well. So you can use whichever mode you prefer with your phone. And as I said, it's based on well-established test concepts, and the presentation is very modern and appealing in design. All of these factors make the INT a very strong screening tool whenever there's time constraints for testing. If we think back to our HR representative who had a few problems or he wanted to solve, the INT offers options for these problems. So with the time limit per item, with the presentation in web browsers, and with the short animations, it's possible to screen large amounts of people for one application, for one position. It's also possible to reach persons on their smartphones who may not use desktop computers as much, and it's also possible to reach persons that are not available for on-site testing, but are farther away. When the HR representative completes the INT, he gets our results. You may know this from other VTS tests from the individual scoring. This looks similar, I'd say, with the 4 main variables, which I mentioned before: cognitive ability as the overall score, logical reasoning, numerical ability, and verbal ability, with percentile ranks based on our norm sample, our representative norm sample, and it also features additional information about how many items were worked on for each subtest and how many of these worked on items were solved correctly. Furthermore, the INT also offers a word report, as you can see here, which features the results same as in the individual scoring, but gives a much more detailed written result for the person. And also there's very detailed information about the different subtests in there. Here, for everyone who's interested, is once again a quick overview. What I have not said up to now was the duration of the test. The INT takes approximately 36 minutes for most users. The representative norm sample is from 14 to 69 years, and all of this allows for perfect screening opportunities and high reach. Let's go back to our HR representative who is offering this very attractive and exciting new position. He is now, with the INT, very happy because he finally can pre-select suitable applicants with not too much time required. He can test international applicants because you can just send the link to a person and they can do the test in the web browser from wherever they want. And he can reach participants on their smartphone who may not have access to a desktop computer or who may not be as used to desktop computers. So as you can see here, for someone like our HR representative, the INT offers very exciting new possibilities and helps solve these problems that have been there before.